Is this funny? Like, is this just a good laugh? Or is there more at stake here? Is this a deeply political debate at the heart of it? Shubhra, if we can start with Shubhra, please. Yeah. Can we unmute Shubhra, please? Sorry, give us a second.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wish it was funny. I wish it was something that you could, sort of throw your head back and have a good laugh at. It's to me, there is only a Hindi word that I can think of when I try and come up with a equivalent for this dialogue. It's just chichorapan. It's a chichora dialogue in a
Hmm.
film which is about one of our most beloved epics, most beloved in the sense that it's not just in India. This is Ramayan is actually venerated in all of Southeast Asia. There's parts of Cambodia, there's Vietnam, there is Thailand, there is Nepal. In all of these parts of the world, the Ramayan is not just an epic which is deeply entertaining, but it is also a deeply the religiosity connected with this epic is, it's been around for the thousands of years. And whether you look at the Tulsidas Ramayana, which is the Ramcharitmanas, or you look at a Valmiki version, or you look at any other many versions of the Ramayana, none of them depend. It doesn't matter which kind of point of view you want to focus on, whether it is the Sita story or whether it is the Ram story or the Bharat story, which they seem to have conveniently dispensed with in this version of the Ramayana. There has never been this kind of confusion about format. It's we don't know whether we are watching some of Lord of the Rings, or whether it is Harry Potter, or whether it is Planet of the Apes. It's the provenance is zero. The dialogues are not just laughable, they are deeply objectionable, I would say. And you began with saying that, is this a good laugh? I wish it was a good laugh, because there is levity. Our lords, our gods are very, very happy with laughter, with any kind of levity. But this is not levity, this is not laughter. This is just plain, I don't know what to call it. I'm just saying it's fully chichora. And it doesn't. You are talking about the Ramayan, right? It's not like a little gully boy having a little conversation. So let's
Yeah.
just get switched on about that.
And at the other end, you're saying that it actually undermines sort of the very notion of religiosity. On the other hand, you have, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. It's kind of absurd, this whole let's leave a seat in the theater for Lord Hanuman. If we can just, look at that. Divinity in all Indian theaters. And these are the images of a seat. Om Raut, of course, is the maker of this movie. And he has shared on his Twitter feed images of of a seat being reserved for Lord Hanuman. Now, Hindol, before I get Sucharita and Rahul in, I just want to bring you in. I know you haven't seen the movie, but I find this completely caricaturing faith. This is not reverence to say let's leave a seat for Lord Hanuman. To me, if I were a deeply believing Hanuman worshipper, I would find this an insult to my faith, because it is taking away its soulfulness. It's taking away a certain amount of gravitas that should be attached to faith. Of course, you can have fun with faith, but this is not fun either. This is some sort of mandatory caricature. Indo.
No, I haven't seen the film, and nor am I likely to see the film. In fact, I will not see the film, thankfully, because of the kind of films that are made in our country mostly. One doesn't need to see an entire film to know that something is ridiculous. And this film is ridiculous. It is stupid by all standards. Only people who know that they've created a bad product and they know it's going to go down the drain cover up by doing antics like this. Once the you have a seat for Hanuman, you basically say, once you say, I this entire film is based on the Ramayana, then you say, no, 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 but we were only inspired by one part of the Ramayana. It's not really Ramayana, because after all, we call it Adi Purush. I heard, to my utter shock and distaste, I had to hear a small clip which came up on Instagram of the film's writer. I'm sorry to say, this is a stupid man. I mean, a stupid man who has done no deep reading, as many such writers are. He has no idea what he's talking about, far less the Ramayana. He would be best off writing, I don't know, Gangs of Wasipur, which actually was a very well written film. So maybe that's not the best example. He's best left to writing, some odd, whatever, Bollywood pot boiler, whatever it is. He shouldn't have touched the Ramayana at all. Actually, the best Ramayana in a sort of commercial format, apart from the one Ramanand Sagar made in India, is the other one made in Japan, which is beautiful, which actually manages to, even though it's animated, manages to capture every emotion of the original Ramayana. And Shubhra is right in saying that the Ramayana is not only an Indian text. It is a story that's revered in many, many formats across Asia, especially Southeast Asia. So this particular director and especially this particular writer should have never touched something like Ramayana. They don't know what to do with it, and we are very unfortunate that this is released. I really, really, earnestly hope that it flops.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, Sucharita, that we don't know its commerce yet because of the hype around it. The advanced bookings were pretty good. The word of mouth trashing it has started only now. In fact, the filmmakers have been showing off that its openings are better than Pathan.
Yeah.
What's your hot take?
I mean, the opening, I'm not surprised that it's better than Pathan. I watched the movie the first day, first show, 7:30 a.m. And I've never seen a movie theater that full in the morning, unless it's like a big South Indian superstars film that Kamal Hassan Films releases, and that has a 6 a.m. opening in Bombay. And I've been to the 6:30, 6 a.m. shows, and they're always full because, there's armies and fan clubs and communities that turn up. The community and the fan club that's turned up here has been Sri Ram Bhagwan's community and fan club that's turned up at 7:30 in the morning and filled that theater. But unfortunately, the filmmakers have been focused on the one empty seat and not on all the occupied seats around them. What are we serving to the people who've come to watch the film? Why are we focusing on the one empty seat that we have left for one person who we are hoping will come and watch the film with us? It's a mockery of not just people's faith and religious beliefs. It's a mockery of cinema as an art form. It's dishonest. It's very apparently insincere. There is not a whole lot of actual heart that's gone into making this film, and it is a crime the amount of money that's gone into making this film, promoting this film, and telling us that this is going to be the best film. There is absolutely nothing wrong with adapting and interpreting a religious text that holds as much importance in Hindu culture as Ramayana does. People have been doing it. Mahabharata, filmmakers, writers, they've all had interpretations of it in their own ways. And you don't even have to, you can write characters that are street side taporis, and it can be interpretation of Ramayana and the Mahabharata. There was a movie in 1980 with Mithun Chakravarti and Nasiruddin Shah in it, which was called Hum Panch, which was a Mahabharata adaptation, and they were all members of a gang. It is doable. You just have to have the right intentionality behind it, and it is very apparent after watching the film that the intentions were either unclear or insidious, but the end product is just an unwatchable crime on humanity.
Unwatchable crime on humanity, mockery of cinema, mockery of faith. I want to bring in Rahul with an interesting question. This movie, this big budget movie, comes at a time when there's a huge hand wringing over the future of movies itself, right? Is Netflix and Amazon permanently going to kill cinema? North Indian cinema has particularly suffered, even though we have Prabhas as the central role, from the South in this movie, Rahul. So what does it, before I come to the politics, what is the industry takeaway from this movie?
I mean, it's been shot in Telugu and Hindi simultaneously. So I feel like it's looked at as a pan-Indian film, quote unquote. So I don't think it's exactly Hindi cinema. I feel like a lot of zones will now associate themselves with the language of the film or where it's coming from because of the backlash right now. But I feel like the problem with this film is that the filmmakers have probably fallen into their own trap, right? These are the same people responsible for making films like Tanaji, the historicals that cater towards the current sort of Islamophobic climate in the country. They basically present villains as either evil Mughal emperors or bad Hindus as Muslims in a lot, or they caricature them as with those traits in most of their films. I feel like they've not done anything different with this film. They've done the same thing that they do with historicals.